Yo, what's going on, man? How y'all doing on this lovely Thursday, man? It's a lot going on, like always. It seems like that's just gonna be the order of the day from now on in the world. What's up, man? How y'all doing? Uh, it's Thursday today, right? Yeah. I've been working so hard. Honestly, I've been losing track of the time. That's why I get on here lately and I don't even really know what time it is. I feel like I got a third shift job because I get up and I just get to going. I get to going to work. I ain't even waste no time, right away. Just start working whatever hours I got, or I'm not in the gym, I'm not doing nothing like that. I'm working, man. I'm trying to get better, trying to build this channel. Shout out to all the content creators I've been talking to. Trying to get that Tubi sponsorship, that Tube Buddy sponsorship. Excuse me, it's Tube Buddy. Not Tubi. That's where they show the generic movies, right? Where you go on there and you might see yourself starring in a movie and shit. Nah, we ain't getting no Tubi sponsorship. We don't want that. We don't want that. But we want that Tube Buddy sponsorship. But nah, so we working. We working. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. If you in right now, go ahead, come in the room, wipe your feet off, you know. That's that like button. Go ahead and hit that like. You wanna take your shoes off. You don't wanna just get to walking all over the carpet, you feel me? Cause it's a mink carpet, you know what I'm saying? In my podcast, you don't wanna walk all over. You gotta hit the like button and take them shoes off, bruh. If you don't hit the like button, you don't take your shoes off, that's cause your feet stink and your socks dirty. And that's the only reason. But nah, so we got a couple things to talk about today. Some interesting arguments. One that always come up all the time. Um well, I ain't even gonna say it come up all the time, but it definitely got some interest. And I would say it got a lot of interest for guys too. And what I'm talking about is the hoe phase, where girls talk about going through that hoe phase, right? And who go through it, why they go through it, what exactly defines it. Now, this particular clip that I'm gonna show y'all today is interesting because it's not just some angry dude spouting off some shit about a girl being a hoe. It's a girl saying she never been through no hoe phase, asking a guy who trying to basically school her on it, or they trying to have a discussion about it. She trying to ask him like what define a hoe phase, and like does the same thing apply to guys too? Your standard question a woman want to know. If it apply to me, do it apply to men? And he went through it. He went through the double standard. He said it's definitely a double standard, but he broke down why the double standard exists. So we gonna check that out, and I think that's gonna be a good one. Y'all definitely gonna like that. And then we gonna look into the other things with what's his name? Uh Gucci Man. He dropped this artist. He signed the artist and then he dropped them the same day over some comments that the artist made about the Texas situation. So I guess I could kind of tell y'all, in a nutshell, what that's gonna be like. Basically he dropped them because the artist said he wasn't gonna go. He said if y'all try to get me to come out there to Texas, like I'm not going. If y'all book me for a show, I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, um, they didn't like Gucci didn't like that shit. He didn't like it. He was like, you know, I guess he seen it as being disrespectful, but I mean, in light of what's happening, think about two things, right? And we gonna talk about it a little bit more, right? But think about two things in light of what's happening in rap overall. can you blame this artist for feeling like, he don't want to go out there to Texas if, he feel like something is gonna happen, right? That's the one part. And then part two is, what about the fact that all Gucci artists are in jail? It's like, if I was on 1017, I would be on high alert for that. Cause I mean, every artist Gucci man got, it seemed like they locked up, right? Right or wrong. If you got an artist that's free, shit, who the hell is it? I don't know who it is. I think Young Mar might be out, but I think Lil Quill just went back in. I don't know. Shout out to Marl and Quill, bless little bastards. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It's rough over there. So that's what I want to talk about, right? Is he wrong, or how y'all feel about it? We gonna get into it. Um, and just that's the basics. And then the last thing is just, I had this. I don't know if y'all been seeing this commercial, right? It's a dude. He used to be a former Trump aide, and now he running like this political action committee. So you could say it's a MAGA commercial, right? You might as well call it a MAGA commercial. And this nigga on there talking about racism to us white people. It's a commercial about racism to us white people. It got some white people making sad faces and shit, man. That shit funny as hell. Mm. So y'all gotta see it. And we gonna check it out. You know, um, and all that like that. So yeah, you know how we do though, man. We started out with some music, so we gonna do that, get everything together, and we gonna get this thing started. Macworld 11-3. Let's go. Oh yeah, happy birthday, Rosie. It's Rosie's birthday, so happy birthday to your little biscuit head ass. But yeah, let's go. y'all, man. Go ahead, get this thing started. So yeah, basically today we got a couple little things to discuss. And I guess we started out I was gonna show y'all this thing with Gucci Mane. His artist ended up getting dropped. This is another follow-up. I guess you could say it's somewhat of a follow-up to the situation with Quavo, but not so much involving Quavo. But anytime it's a situation like that involving an artist dying, it's usually some fallout, either in the form of people he was affiliated with or people that he was beefing with. It's gonna be some stuff happening on both sides, you know what I'm saying? So, oh my God. Yeah, but anyway, so I'm looking at this. This is what I'm looking at, right? Let me show y'all what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this right here, and it's basically like Gucci Mane, artist. Hold on. It's like it's showing. Hold on, let me see if I get it right here. All right, so you can see it's showing. It's like Gucci Mane artist backdoored him or ops or something like that. Like, hold on, let me show you. Look at this right here. So it's like Gucci Mane artist, Baby Racks backdoor him for ops after getting dropped from 1017 label. That's crazy as hell, man. Like, it don't even make no sense. People just throw a bunch of stuff together that don't even make no sense. They backdoored him for ops. Like, bro, come on now. What is you even talking about? But nah, this shit is funny as hell though. Let's see, I like Urban Politicians TV. It's a few people that talked about it. Gucci Mane goes in on artists after Takeoff, Migos killed in Houston. Gucci Mane, let me see. I wanna go to one that ain't too long, cause some of these niggas be long-winded, right? But I'm gonna go to one that ain't too damn long, and hopefully we could get that shit all looked up for y'all. Yeah, so hold up, I just go to this first one then. Fuck it, we'll do it like that.
We got a lot to talk about, so today we're going to be talking about Gucci Mane and his former artist, Baby Racks. But before we get into today's video, I'm going to ask you guys to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn post notifications on so you can be notified when I drop my next video. So without further ado, we're going to get straight to it. Now, as you guys seen by the title, Gucci Mane will basically drop one of his artists after he will make a viral tweet basically saying, "Don't book me in Houston after the whole Takeoff situation. Rest in peace to Takeoff." As you guys see right here, it says Georgia rapper Baby Racks, who was recently signed to Gucci Mane, is receiving backlash for telling Houston promoters not to book him after the Takeoff situation. As you guys see right here, he will make a tweet saying, "I'm definitely not effing with Houston after that. Don't book me because Baby Racks not coming." Now, Gucci Mane will end up responding to Baby Racks saying this by saying, "Congratulations to Baby Racks. First artist to get signed and dropped in a day. That dude is not signed to 1017.
So that's what I'm saying, y'all. So as you see, it ain't just like, he jumped up out of nowhere and was just like, oh man, I ain't trying to do this show or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? He was like, shit, I don't want to go to that motherfucker because shit, folks is over there getting killed. They over there, you know what I'm saying? Shit, killing. Well, he ain't know the logistics behind it, but I think it was more or less a point he was trying to make, right? Like, he like, shit, I don't want to be the next one on the fucking chopping block. You know what I'm saying? He like, hell the fuck no. Ain't that what he said? He was like, I don't want to do that shit. So, I mean, is he wrong though? And then part of me feel like he was almost being sarcastic or something, right? I mean, I can't say. I mean, you don't want your artist telling people not to book them. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, I mean, shit, motherfucker talking about he don't want to lose his goddamn life though. I can feel that shit. Who don't want to live their life? Who don't want to, you know what I'm saying, continue to have some breath in their motherfucking lungs out here? You know, so he like, don't send me to Houston. Gucci like, congratulations, man. Your ass dropped. Let's go.
Now, I feel like it would be a fair thing to say that Gucci Mane can't necessarily afford to have people on his label that is going to slow down his bag, because if you're telling Houston people to not book you, the number one thing you're doing is you're slowing down the label's bag, because the Houston promoters might look at that tweet and assume, since this one artist that is signed to Gucci Mane's label is saying don't book him, then we also won't try booking any of his other artists. Now you're slowing down the bag for his other artists. So I can definitely see where Gucci Mane's coming from. And not only that, it makes Gucci Mane look
Facts. He got a good point right there. He might be like, well, shit, this Gucci artist like don't book him, so maybe all them niggas scared. You know what I'm saying? And might not book none of his artists. Gucci might have some artists that's from Houston or just whatever. Or you know how the streets work. It could be taken like it's him, you know, having some type of beef with Houston or something like that, or blackballing Houston. That's bad for business, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want nobody blackballing your city or starting no trend of blackballing your city, right? So he on that shit. He like, nah, man. You gonna have to go on with all that shit. Let's go.
bad if one of his artists is saying, after this
Yeah.
whole situation happened to where somebody lost his life, I am no longer going to perform there. Of course, that's going to make Gucci Mane look bad. And, I would assume that that played a part in it.
Hey, why they keep showing this picture of young boy dancing around in his damn drawers though? Or whatever the hell he doing. Dog be looking lost as hell and shit. Like, what the hell going on? Let's go.
Him wanting to just drop him immediately after he made that comment. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And the crazy part about it is he said for a day, meaning, he just signed him and then, dropped just like that. But that's crazy. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Clubboy Ashley. Hey, man,
Nigga got fired on this day off on what? This shit funny as hell. Nah, but what y'all think about that though, man? Cause like I said, on the one hand, I think it's crazy, you know, for him to just fire him like that, or drop him, not fire him. It ain't like that nigga was on the payroll and shit, like getting a salary. But it's still just, it's crazy for me for him to just over one thing he said, drop him like that. Little nigga look young, he look a little naive. I mean, damn, Gucci, you ain't gonna stall him out, Debo. You ain't gonna give him a chance and shit to grow and learn. Gucci said, like, man, I guess that's what it is in the business shit. But nah, so he got rid of dude, and I mean, I look at it like, little dude, maybe, you know what? What's the little jit little name? What's his name? Baby Rax. You know what, Baby Rax? Maybe you wasn't meant to be in the rap game, man. Maybe that shit that you just said about not getting signed or not wanting to go to Houston, or you ain't gonna go. Maybe you just saved your own life, fool. You might have just saved your own life. You know what I mean? You feel me? Because it might not have been now, it might have been later, but they say the Lord work in mysterious ways, fool. So you getting dropped that quick, you might have set a record, but you might see the next artist that gets signed to Gucci, he might end up, they might do it to him right in Houston or something. So ain't no telling, but either way it go, man, you gotta take it, I guess, as a blessing in disguise, shit. Because I mean, shit, you still gonna live to make another rap song, little nigga. So just keep your head up, for the most part. Speaking of keeping your damn head up, man, I guess that's what we gonna have to start telling white folks, man. They gonna have to keep their head up, because, man, these folks out here talking about reverse racism. I mean, I look around, right? And I don't see shit that they can't have. I see, like, okay, I'll give you an example. You turn on the TV, you look at a commercial for McDonald's. It got a little jingle to it with a little soul to it. Hold the chicken, hold the lettuce. You know what I'm saying? Little soul jingle to it. You know what I mean? You look at a payday loan commercial, you know, little cool little hip hop beat. You know what I'm saying? Little hip hop beat to it and shit, you know, kind of let you know who is directed towards. Nah, peep this out. You turn on a Fidelity Mutual commercial. How the music go? It's some brown and a brown, brown and a brown, brown, brown. You know what I'm saying? Some of that type shit, right? it's some soft country rock. It's some alternative ska band type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's some shit that's what's funny. Like, we communicate a lot through our music. You know, we do. Black people, we communicate a lot through our music, right? So they know that. That's why peep the music on the McDonald's commercial. Peep the music on anything they trying to direct toward us. They have it a certain way. They try to present it a certain way, usually using some goddamn hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's some shit like that, you know. But the point the nigga making is this, like, you look around and you see most things are geared towards, like, most things of value and higher value are geared towards them. I know friends that own houses. I own my house. I got friends that own houses and stuff. And they would tell you about the way that realtors, you know, would tell them certain things. Like, I got black friends and white friends, right? And they would tell you the way realtors would tell them certain things about, like, you don't want to buy a house in this neighborhood. This neighborhood got a lot of black people. You don't want to, you know, like, you don't want to live in this zip code. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And basically explaining that shit along color lines, and not explaining it along color lines to, you know, make it equal, to make sure they give them the choices of shit that's better, right? So that's just two examples of things in life in general that you look around and see. And just to let you know how they got shit geared towards them. But then take it a step further, right? You get in some trouble. You gotta go, you say, I don't wanna do this shit, and you get you a public defender. Your public defender is gonna be a white dude, you know what I'm saying? Your judge is gonna be a white dude, you know? The jury of your supposed peers is gonna be a bunch of 12 white people, most likely, right? So when black people talk about racism, we mean systematic oppression. When we say black power, we mean power to the people, power against the systematic oppression that goes from generation to generation. The same way privilege is passed down, missed opportunity is passed down, miseducation is passed down, so on and so forth. Mac Buddy Gaming in the building. What it do? That's my brother. But the same way privilege and wealth is passed down, missed opportunity is passed down, miseducation is passed down, right? So I'm tripping when I think about the generational trauma that we get put on us, and sometimes we put it on our kids because we got it from our parents and we don't even know it. And it's just things that we had to adapt to and kind of almost normalize it in order to get by, because it was things that we couldn't change, things our parents couldn't change, things that we come into and we got to learn to adapt to it, and we can't really change it, right? But at the same time, it's traumatic shit, and sometimes we block it out, you know, but we end up passing that to our kids too, inadvertently, and they got to deal with it, right? I think about that. And then I think about this bullshit right here. Let me show y'all this.
Former Donald Trump aide Stephen Miller has been running a series of ads, mostly on radio, but most recently on television in Georgia, claiming that the Biden administration, liberals, progressives, Democrats in general, they're all racist against white people. Now, the radio ads, of course, had been reported on, and then Isaac Hayes III posted this on Twitter yesterday, showing the world the anti-white racism ads that Stephen Miller's group is running. Now, if I sound a bit confused here, it's because I am. Because nothing in this ad I'm about to show you is accurate. And even though the video quality is a little poor, if you're able to see the sources that they cite, most of them are the Daily Wire, which is not very reliable. There's the Washington Times, which is 100% not reliable, and other media outlets that are either taken out of context or are also not reliable. But that's what Steve Miller's group.
Y'all don't know who Stephen Miller is. He that creepy looking, lizard looking ass white dude that always used to be around Donald Trump. You know, they talk about the eyes as the windows to the soul. Just think about a creepy dude with some creepy looking ass eyes. That's Stephen Miller. You probably ain't even know who he was, but might have been like, you might have known him as a dude with the creepy ass eyes or something. But yeah, nigga tripping. Let's go.
America First Legal is putting out there. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is this ad attacking Democrats for their racism against white people. Here it is.
When did racism against white people become okay? Joe Biden put white people last in line for COVID relief funds. Should go to non-white citizens first. Liberal politicians block access to medicine based on skin color. Progressive corporations, airlines, universities all openly discriminate against white Americans. Racism is always wrong. The left's anti-white bigotry must stop.
Y'all see them sad white people? Hold on. Let me see if I can roll it back and show y'all some of those sad white faces. Look, they in school. They getting discriminated against in the hospital. Oh man, Kamala, non-white citizens need disaster aid worse because they got less resources. What? How is that possible? Let's see if we can catch some of these sad white faces.
To medicine based on skin color. Progressive corporations, airlines, universities.
Hey, ain't this funny? Look at them sad as hell. Sad as hell at a school. Look like a nice ass school too. Sad as hell at a nice ass school. On a new ass laptop. Probably ain't had to pay no financial aid. Surrounded by white people, and not only is they white people, but the dude in this ad right here, this motherfucker so pale, he look like, man, y'all need to check his post and see if he might need he might be getting discriminated against at the hospital. I think he need a blood transfusion.
All openly discriminate against white Americans. Racism is always wrong. The left's anti-white bigotry must stop. We are all entitled to equal treatment under law.
Man, these some sad white folks, man. They is getting discriminated against. They is getting beat down. You know what? This is my question, right? What is the biggest fight right now in the white community? What is the biggest obstacle? What is the biggest obstacle that y'all are facing right now in the white community, right? Because they're talking about the black community, right? But don't nobody ask about the white community. White community, what is the biggest obstacle that y'all face, right? Now, that might seem like a funny question, might seem like an odd question, right? But I'm going to say this. It seemed like an odd question. But the thing about it is this. The only reason it seemed like it's an odd question is because you never hear that term used a lot. You don't hear the term white community a lot. And I'm gonna tell you a reason why. Because white people know that they don't have no value in grouping themselves together. By not the same power that they amass by grouping other people together, they will lose power by grouping themselves together. You don't group yourself with a bunch of other people when you want to be seen as the dominant group. You have to have your image be the dynamic image, right? So if you black, it's like, okay, you could say like criminal or like gangs, crime, something like that, or just whatever. You know, it's like they'll say something about like Mexican people or something like that, like, oh, they illegal or something, like whatever. But they gotta have like a main kind of way that they view you overall. And it has to be a way to group your people together. And I give you a perfect example, and I'm pretty sure everybody done dealt with this before. I'm pretty sure everybody remember a time where they was probably talking to a white person online or something like that, and that white person will ask you about or they will ask you about like something, like as far as like some gangs or something like that. Like they'll ask you some shit about like the gangs in Chicago or something like that. And I know you probably be thinking like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, they think all black people is just one big group. I done dealt with that before myself. I done had a white person name a random ass black person and shit and ask me if I know him. Like, man, you know Tyron, and it was a generic ass name too. It was like what was dude name and shit? It was like what was that nigga name? It was like Jamel Johnson or something, or Richardson or something like that. He's like, man, do you know him, or do you know the Richardson family? I'm like, no. And then dude was like, and this one of my white friends and shit, he was like, yeah, he's talking about his other sellout. He had another little friend and shit. And dude was more along them lines of, you know, if the question came and shit, he was definitely gonna answer the way they wanted him to. But he was like, yeah, I forget what the fat dude name was, another black dude he knew and shit. He like, yeah, he said he knows them and he knows their family and they're all criminals or something. Like, man, he don't know them people. Like, that's some bullshit. Dude trying to play up on black stereotypes. That's that plantation shit I'm talking about. So basically, dog was like, he asking me if I know Joe Jenkins and shit. I'm like, nah, nigga, I don't know Joe Jenkins. All black people don't know each other. And he like, well, I asked my other black friend and he says he knows Joe Jenkins and the Jenkins family are criminals. I'm like, that nigga lying, bro. He don't know no fucking, he saying what you wanted him to say. You probably got all in his face asking him if he know him. Like, in his right mind, he would have been thinking like, why the fuck would this motherfucker think I just know the most randomest black person he named and shit? But he know y'all rich. This my rich white guy and shit too. Like, his mama own a winery and got horses and shit. Like, so he probably said, you know what? He got on this nigga shit. He said, it's more benefiting me lying like I know goddamn Joe Jenkins than it is for me telling the truth. Like, I don't know no damn Joe Jenkins. Cracker? What is you talking about? He said, they was like, yeah, you know Joe. He's like, yup, I know him. And they're all criminals too. And all of them are criminals. Like, so what was he gonna say? Give me a couple dollars to go fight some crime and shit. Go clean up the Jenkinses and shit. Like, but I mean, you know, I get it. Trying to jug that little dollar out them rich folks, I guess. But I'm like, man, hell no. Everybody don't know each other and shit. It ain't nothing like that, like with black folks. So they see the value in not grouping themselves together. When you see something happen with it, and black people are conditioned to do that shit themselves. when you see something happen with a black person, you'll hear a lot of black people be like, come on, man, we got to do better, man. We got to do better. But when you see a white person shoot up a school, you know what I'm saying? You see a white police officer, you know what I'm saying, go out here, shoot somebody in the back, get caught on tape, doing some shit. You know, you see a white teacher sleeping with the basketball team, some shit like that. They'll never be like, man, come on, man. Come on, guys, we've got to do better. Like, do better for who? They look at it like they on top already. And when we be like, come on, man, we got to do better, man. Who do them people who say that be talking about? They be talking about we got to do better for white people. That's a slave mentality. You got to do better for yourself, and you shouldn't shame yourself because somebody that look like you does something wrong, unless you gonna praise yourself when somebody that look like you do something right. You won't do that. When you see somebody black do something good, you won't be like, hell yeah, black people is the shit. But when you see somebody black do something fucked up, you be like, man, we got to do better, man. Come on, y'all, we got to do better, man. And yeah, like Mac Buddy say, it's the individual, it ain't the whole. You know what I'm saying? And he say, never go against your moral compass to fit in. Facts, you know what I'm saying? That's my bro from way back. You know, we get into deep discussions about that, man. Like we both, you know, he one of the people, and I definitely ain't gonna put the man business out here or whatever, but he definitely somebody that, you know what I'm saying, live by his rep. I put it like that, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I've known all the guys that I've known to be able to thrive and survive, you know what I'm saying, in what could be defined as a street situation, to also be intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no like book smart, street smart. It's just overall intelligence. You don't even gotta separate the two. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta look at it like, oh, I'm street smart or oh, I'm book smart. It ain't like them ain't two sides of the same coin. You better be both. You better be book smart, street smart, nigga, jail smart. You better be motherfucking every type of smart you could think of. You better be smart as a parent. You better be any type of smarts you need to get. Hey, good looking out, checking in, Mac Buddy. Don't forget, hit that like. If you ain't subscribed, go ahead, subscribe. Let your people know about the channel. Love, baby. We gonna chop it up on the next one. And check out Mac Buddy Gaming. Check out Games in 3 minutes. You know, check them out on Twitch. Check them out on YouTube on Saturdays. You know, we all working, man. Shout out to the team, brothers in content. Yeah. So, you know, it's like that, man. Stop grouping yourself with people for negativity. And I'm always skeptical of anybody that try to group black people together that's black, because traditionally we only group together when they want to apologize to us all for some fucked up shit, or when they want to criticize us all for something one black person did, right? So I'm always skeptical of when we get grouped together. So anytime I hear somebody talking and they talking about, yup, yada, 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 but y'all like this, but see, y'all think like that, or y'all, I be like, that's why I be joking sometimes at the beginning of the podcast when I be like, yeah, come in if y'all do this, do that, unless y'all live under a rock. But yeah, I know some of y'all do live under a rock when I be on my y'all shit, you know what I'm saying? That's me on bullshit, because anybody that hop on some y'all this, y'all that type shit, they on some bullshit. Don't nobody try to, what's the word I'm thinking, like throw everybody in a bandwagon or like stereotype people unless they doing it for a negative reason. You don't try to group people together for no positive reason. It just don't work like that. And yeah. Speaking of grouping people together, that brings me to my last topic. And I know y'all gonna like this one right here. The hoe phase. The hoe phase. Do you have a hoe phase, hoe? Or is you out of your hoe phase? So we gonna talk about it, right? And shout out to Rallo Tomasi. I don't know if y'all familiar, but it's a whole thing they call the manosphere, and it's basically basically like, I guess you could say, the collection of content creators that do discussions on like relationships and the state of, you know, dating in 2022, what you could say modern dating and so on and so forth. So an interesting discussion came up, right? Interesting discussion came up. The guy, Rollo Tomasi is his name. Matter of fact, I'll show y'all big, right? Let's go with this one. So an interesting discussion came up and I was looking at it. Let me see, I'm gonna go. And she was basically, this woman right here, you know, she was asking about like the hoe phase and what constitutes the hoe phase. How do you know when you're in your hoe phase and all that? Like, you know, I ain't gonna say she was playing stupid. Maybe the hoe really wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the hoe really wanted to know, right? We can't say, we don't know, you know? But she seemed like she is acting a little naive to me for the purpose of trying to make a point. And her point was, yo, basic, why is it okay for men but not okay for women? So I want to kind of analyze as much as this clip as I can, so I'm gonna get right into it and I'll break it down as we go down and just, you know, we'll get into it like that. Let's go.
Because I know a lot of women that are in very monogamous relationships never had a hoe phase. What actually is a hoe phase?
18 to 28 years old.
But what qualifies it as a hoe phase? Because
it's let's be promiscuous.
so what does that actually look
Basically.
like? Like, what's the body count on that? Does that mean she sleeps with somebody on the first date?
More
Does
than
that
6.
mean like more than 6 a year, or
More
like
than 6. Well, okay. So I've done these shows
Or-
with
yeah.
Myron and Fresh.
All right, so one thing I noticed right off top is she asks, and I hate when people do this shit. I absolutely hate when people do this shit. She asking questions, but she acting like she don't really want answers to these questions, though. I absolutely hate when somebody do that shit. It's like they ask a question to not understand it. They even ask you like the question don't got an answer. What is that? What does it mean? And you like, this what it mean. But what does that mean? And it's like, this what it mean. But what, it's like, why? Remember Animaniacs? Why? The kid keep asking why till you get frustrated, then be like, okay, I love you, bye. That's some of that shit.
because I'm just curious, like what actually is a hoe phase, and would the same rules apply to a guy?
Hell no, that wouldn't apply to a guy.
All right, now stop.
Hell no,
That's
woman.
really
Hold
the
on,
question.
wait.
What?
Stop.
That's not even
Hold
a
on.
question.
Stop in your tracks
That's
right
not
now.
fair.
I'm gonna call out something you
Hell
just
yeah,
did.
it's not fair.
And you've been doing this entire conversation. Every time we bring out a point about like a hoe face for women,
Yeah.
it's like, well, what about guys? Okay, stop. You need to dissociate yourself from like, okay, men and women are different. So the idea that
Facts.
what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If there's like, you know, if it's good for guys, it must be good for women. Throw that out of your mind right now, because men and women are biologically, physiologically, neurologically, psychologically different from one another. So there is this constant like, well, what about guys, right? Okay, well, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about women at this phase.
Jamie, if you're asking, is it a double standard?
Yes.
There is.
Yeah.
There
Yes,
is.
it
And if
is.
you're asking if it's fair, it isn't.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna bring up this right now. I'll ask the question first, and then I'll bring up my.
Well, I
my
just really
example.
wanted to get back. So okay, we'll focus on just the girls. Got it.
Hold
And
on.
we
Do
can
you
talk
care?
about
Hold on.
that,
Time
but I'm
out.
just saying
Do
there needs
you
to be a
care how
separation.
many guys? 'Cause this is the question we're gonna ask for.
Now he finna ask us the question he finna ask. I don't know if y'all remember, but one of my very first live streams, I did this. I asked this question right here. Because this come along, this is a question you gotta ask yourself, right? When they trying to equivalate a man to a woman and saying like, oh, if a man do this, it's okay for a woman, right? But they pointing out it's not gonna work like that because we think different. We wire different and we think different. And he gonna break it down before you get mad. I know some of y'all out there some people just, when a man with an opinion make them so fucking mad. It used to be like the days where it's like big stupid Harold come home and throw the garbage and sit in that raggedy ass chair and wait on that TV dinner like a big stupid working dog and shit. But now motherfuckers is doing shit like, look at me, I'm tech savvy and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll switch scenes on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying? We doing shit out here. It's like you ain't gotta be no stereotype, just big dumb man. You know what I'm saying? You could be big and don't gotta be dumb, and you could be a man. You know what I'm saying? But nah, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, it be a lot of shit to where, you know, they want to make it seem like a man ain't supposed to think for herself. And if you doing too much thinking, then it's something that ain't manly about it. Let's go.
Do you care how many girls a guy has slept with when you date them?
I used to when I was younger.
Tiana said yes.
I mean, if they come out and say the number,
Jamie, I know you, and I know the answer to this.
And one more thing, I'm gonna say this real fast. You notice how they ask him a simple question? Do you care how many girls a guy been with before y'all start dating? And you can ask a man that question and he gonna say yeah or no. But look how hard they rack their brain to answer this fucking question. It's like, come on, you gotta be kidding me. And that's because when somebody is bullshitting you, they don't want to give you a straight answer because they afraid of like losing the quote unquote argument. She want to win. She want to like beat the question. You know what I'm saying? So she gonna try to figure out what's the best answer rather than just saying whether she care or not.
Do you really care how many girls a guy has slept with?
I mean, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the number that's too high?
Yeah, I've never really thought about it, but like
Then
if
you
I
don't really care.
no, look, like I haven't thought about it, but look, just because I haven't thought about it doesn't mean it doesn't matter, okay? Like it matters. Like I'm answering your question honestly. If I didn't give a fuck, I would tell you. Okay? So, yes, does it matter? Yeah, is it super important to me? No, it's not super important to me, but like do I want somebody to like have multiple sexual partners? Do I want to be at a party and know that he's fucked you, and you?
My God,
no, I don't want to deal with that. You know,
You hear the noise like, oh.
I don't want to deal with that.
It's important to me because if I am going to settle down with someone, I don't want to, for the rest of my life, have to go out into the world and know you because I met you when you were around 30 other women. I kind of can foreshadow what may or may not happen. And just with my own,
So it's an embarrassment thing, but it's not an actual number that's bothers you. But what the guy lived in New York and now you live in Vegas.
And if you notice even the way they answered that question right there, would you care? They didn't say they didn't even say necessarily. They said they cared, but the reason they gave why is a specific scenario. Like, what if we go out, and that right there killed it right there for me. It's still some old public opinion, still some public image shit. It's still not what you care about. Cause you like, what if we go out and, you slept with this girl and that girl and this girl and shit, then you just more worried about, like you said, it's more of an embarrassment thing. So, and a lot of y'all, yeah, if y'all could get by without the embarrassment, they wouldn't care. Shit. Girls ain't looking for no nigga who dick dry out here. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Y'all want a nigga who got some motherfucking man hours on this stroke. Y'all want somebody that to put in. They say it take 10,000 hours of doing something to master something. So a nigga that done been, fucking for a long time, and then, you know what I'm saying? I've been stroking 10,000 hours. I'm a master at this shit. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker who fresh done had 1 or 2 girlfriends. Man, I don't know. I wouldn't even know how I go, but let's go.
His body count is high, but none of the girls live in Vegas. Would that be a problem for you?
I don't think so.
Would it be a problem for you?
No, with that.
Okay, now
here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Again, it ain't just flat out like I care, I don't care. It's always a caveat. He just asked her about whether she would care or not. But he was like, what if it was a bunch of girls, just like you said, but the girls just wasn't here in Vegas, where you live at? She was like, no, I wouldn't care. So I go to show you, man, we different. But he gonna bring it around to her and make it make sense for her. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
guess where you
I'm
live.
going to ask the same.
So it's a status and a social aspect.
Let's have a hypothetical question. I have 3 dudes here, and then I ask them, do you think body count matters for a woman? What do you think they're going to say?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
I was told on a first date, don't tell me who you picked up.
It is a double standard, and it isn't fair.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I want to go back to the hoe thing though, because I do, because look, I'm genuinely curious about it. Okay, because I hear that term a lot, but like, how do you actually define that? Like, what qualifies as a hoe phase? Like,
I think
because I hear that all women have, like, you're making a generalization saying that, hey, 18 to this, all women basically go through that. I didn't do that.
No.
I think if they have the opportunity,
that's a generalization that it's just a generalization, doesn't count.
Your peak sexual market value years are going to be right around 23 years.
Sure.
old.
Yes. But just based on your definition of what a hoe phase is, well, I don't apply to that. I know lots of women that don't fit that.
He didn't come up with the term hoe phase, and neither did I.
I called it party years.
I asked him, okay, you guys use the term hoe phase. I asked him how to define it. So that's what I'm referencing.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a colloquialism. I think party phase is probably a better way to put it.
Yeah,
because I know some girls that like
better.
they don't sleep with a bunch of dudes, but man, they like a fucking ton of attention. And they'll go through this phase in their life where they're like, they have a boyfriend and they're driving him crazy by making this dude jealous and this dude jealous. I've seen that happen also, but at the same time, there are a few girls who, like, we didn't come up with the term.
So it's so funny you bring that up and he say that shit like that, right? Because as far as like a hoe phase go, I mean, shit, it be some girls that be on a hoe phase, but it don't necessarily mean, you know what I'm saying, they out fucking. I don't think that's what it necessarily gotta mean. I think it just mean you just on some like non-committal, like, you know, you ain't about committing to nothing. You know, the only part of your womanhood you engage in ain't the motherly part or the nurturing part. It's just the sexual part. You know what I'm saying? You ain't showing no love. You ain't getting no love. You out here, you know, trying to be the best version of a nigga who ain't shit, you know what I'm saying, with two X chromosomes, you know what I mean? And you know, it can be done, and you might even get, if it's like from some chicks that's kind of done went down that road themselves, you could get a couple of accolades for it. But, you know, he say a woman's peak sexual market value, which I know that term sounds sleazy, like that sounds like a human trafficking term on what? But he said a woman peak sexual market value is at like 23. Like, you know, basically a lot of a woman, you know, your sexual attraction come with your youth as you get older. And this is what I found out, right? I mean, shit, you don't believe me, go on Facebook, right? Look at all the girls that we knew that was bad or considered bad, or the bad chicks from when we was in middle school and high school and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only see yourself as being bad. You don't look at it like you ever got to work on yourself. So when you look up 5-6 kids later, you know what I'm saying, and you got that motherfucking spare tire gut, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, looking like Sonny Liston out here and shit, you ain't really thinking about it like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, now you like, oh, I got to get up and I got to do this or I got to do that. But I mean, if you never seen yourself as needing to work on yourself or put work in on yourself, you're not going to do it. You know, a lot of the girls that in high school, they wasn't, you know, the popular girls and shit, as they got older, they was the ones that started to really come into theyself, you know? And that's how I go. So I think he talking about but he gonna go into it some more, talk about that little pocket though. I'm gonna let them explain it some more. I'm gonna kind of let them go through the whole video. We coming around the 5-minute mark. Appreciate everybody watching. If y'all ain't hit that like button, hit that like. If you ain't subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
Whole face is what I'm saying.
No, we didn't. No, but I was gonna say is like the span to 10-year span. This is how I classify it. So this is just my bonehead version of this. 18 to 28 years old. 23 is the age at which most men across the board find women they're at their most attractive, is between like 21 and 24 years old, right in there. So I peg it at right about 23. That is the prime age at which a woman has her peak sexual agency. Whether or not she is experiencing a hoe phase, or living it up in Cancun, or having in the hookup culture in her college or something like that, is immaterial to the phase itself being like, this is when you're going to be at your peak potential. Now, we just went through COVID, right? So what women are saying is like, well, here I am in the prime of my life and I just missed 2 years of my, I couldn't date anyone. We were locked down, and there, like, women have said this on like many a podcast right now, saying, I feel like I got gypped out of, my youth because I could have had potential to go out and meet guys, because that's right when they're in their most marketable, as far as the sexual market value is concerned. That's when they're at their peak potential. And so within that 10-year phase, whether or not they are, sleeping with 100 guys, or up in their body count or whatever, or they are promiscuous, the fact still remains that that 10-year span right there is when women have their peak potential to lock down a guy who has the potential for long-term security.
By the way, when he's saying what he's saying, there's a book called Dataclysm where it goes over.
Yes.
Now, see, one thing I will say about this, one thing I say is that they always look at it in terms of something I learned politically that made a lot of sense to me. So from a liberal standpoint, they assume that the ideology is equality, and that the other side is doing it wrong, and they are approaching equality wrong, when in fact the other side don't even believe in equality, so they're not approaching it at all. Now, a lot of this stuff he's saying about like your peak, attractiveness and time and shit like that is all based on you getting married or attracting a man, and that's assuming that you even aiming to settle down with a man. A lot of these hoes nowadays, man, they ain't finna settle down. They want somebody to, like MJG said it best, you don't want a man, you want somebody to play with, knowing it's impossible for you to stay with. And that's what they want. They just want somebody to kind of occupy their time while they figure shit out forever. But let's go.
When most girls get their most right swipes, and it is between 23 and 25. It's not our opinion.
Yeah, between the ages, men between the ages of 15 and 90, they all rate women between the ages of like 21 to 24. I believe, right around there, as the most attractive.
And for men, it's like 38.
Well, for women, when they rate men who as being more attractive, it's always anywhere between 3 to 7 years older than they are at that particular time. So if a woman is 30, she's looking at a guy who's like anywhere between 33 and 37, something like that. So it's always staggers up, because I think on some level of consciousness, women realize that it takes longer for the man to develop and mature into his peak potential to have the most, he can be the full package, right? So he can still be good looking, he's got his money on point, he's got his physique on point, he's got his...
It's gonna take longer for a man, because we not just with a woman, you gonna grow that body, and it's just gonna grow as you get older, and it's like it's gonna come with you, and your ability to reproduce and all the potential you got as a woman, especially as a younger woman, it comes to you naturally. As a man, you don't have no inherent value. You got to earn some value. You got to get out and work and prove you could provide and protect. And that usually takes some time, because first you got to grow up. Then you got to learn what the fuck you gonna do in life. Then you got to start to do it. And then people start to see the value in you. Let's go.
His game on point, he's a better judge of character, he has some sort of status and affluence at that point, and so therefore I think on some level, like when most women, when they're looking for a guy as a long-term, like a marriage or something like that, they're looking for a guy who's old, at the very least 3 to 7 years older than he is. So when we're talking about the hoe phase, is like, that's, again, I didn't make up the word, but it's the 18.
It's funny hearing dude like, when we're talking about the hoe phase.
To 28-year-old span where women are at their peak potential to maximize, and that's where they can maximize their potential. So how they go about doing that, you can have some very religious girl who's never had like a quote-unquote hoe phase, and she might have like maybe a 2 or 3 body count, and then you got the other girls on Fresh and Fit who at like 19 have something like 15 or 20 body count already at that
What could
point.
you buy with your body count? You remember that episode?
Yeah, exactly.
This girl was like, I could buy a fucking Birkin. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh
So
my
you
God,
could buy a Birkin?
Jesus
And then
Christ.
you also have to you have to throw in variables as well because
Perhaps a juicy couture.
because
Look at you out of your body count. Girl fucking around said, I want a happy meal. A what? A happy meal?
Yeah,
most women, like, remember, as I just said, 75% of the population is overweight. So that doesn't mean that every single woman is having the same kind of hoe phase as somebody who is like
It's just
exceptionally
their
attractive.
hoe phase.
Well, that's
Yes.
that's why I
How it's
wanted that.
contextual.
That's why I wanted that
Explained.
defined.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I wanted.
He basically saying you can't say that she want a definite answer of how many bodies it is to be considered a hoe phase and all that. And basically, my guy, like, shit, you can't say because a fat chick hoe phase ain't gonna be like a chick who attract more people. It's gonna be her hoe phase gonna hit different. It's gonna go a little bit different. It might look different. You know what I'm saying? Lizzo's hoe phase ain't gonna look like Rihanna's hoe phase. You feel me? But in their own right, like he said, they contextual. We going a little bit over time, but it's all good. Let's go.
Wanted that definition because I think, look, generally speaking, when I hear hoe phase or when most women hear hoe phase, it's in reference to that separation would commonly define that as, okay. Most people when they hear hoe phase are going to be like, oh, she's a hoe, she fucks everybody, and it's like 10 plus, I would say.
So let me ask you a question. So I think this is the real discernment. Men will then judge a woman by how many men she slept with.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So really, that's the only point.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
That's the only
Fair
real
enough.
point of this.
Fair enough. It's it was just being explained. You were
she basically like it should men and women, it shouldn't be the same. It should be the same. It should be the same. That's not fair. But you as a woman are saying you don't judge. And that's on you as a woman. If you saying, well, it mattered to me, but it don't matter, or oh, not if they here, not there. But he's telling you as a man, yeah, we do care. Or, you know what I'm saying? Some men do care. With me, like I said, man, toxic trait, I don't got no faith in none of these hoes, man. So to me, ain't no my body count or oh, I've not been with that many guys. Like, you just a hoe anyway. You just a hoe at a slower speed. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I be looking at that shit sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just a hoe with training wheels. You feel me? Like, it be shit like that in my mind. But yeah, man, I could go into it a little bit more. Check it out. Rallo Tomasi. Matter of fact, I go back, I show y'all the channel so y'all can go check it out because I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Let me see. It is right here. Rational Male Clips. It's right here. Rallo checked her about the hoe phase. That's the name of the video. So yeah, you get a chance, go ahead, check that thing out, man. Shout out to Elgato, man, the makers of the Stream Deck, man. Y'all done changed everything for a player, man. I love my Stream Deck. Thank you, man. Shout out to everybody that watched today. Good looking. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you ain't subscribed. I appreciate it. Thank you to all my new subscribers, everybody that support. Let me throw this up there. Y'all see my Cash App up there. Any donations to the channel be all to the good, man. I will appreciate it. Feed a starving African kid with some likes and some Cash App. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I appreciate y'all coming out, man, and we gonna do it again tomorrow. We wrapping up the first week of May. I mean, not May, November. I said May. What made me say May? What am I thinking about May? What happened in May? You know what? I think I'm thinking about them Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. negotiations they said was in May, because I got that on my mind because I'm trying to do a series of videos on that. So look out for my boxing videos too, all y'all fight fans, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, again, thank y'all for coming out. Man, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm out of here. Later. I gotta do the big smile at the end and shit. You look at all the end of my videos always. It's my shit. Why they still got me over here? That's crazy.